everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name is Acacia, and today I'm going to be doing Kate Howe's book tag for Little Women, which she created. I will link the original down below, and that'll link you to her channel. She's wonderful, she's sweet. Please go check her out. She's just a doll. So Little Women, my relationship to Little Women is not as strong as hers. I will admit that right here, right now. I did love Jo growing up. I thought she was the coolest, but at the same time, I don't remember Little Women having a great effect on me. I think we probably either listened to my mom read it to us, or we listened to it in the car on cassette when we were young, when we would drive down to my grandparents' house, probably around Christmas time. I do know we saw the film with Winona Ryder, but that's about all I know. I don't even really remember it too well, but I do remember the characters. And as a result, all these questions are based on the characters, which made me feel a little bit more comfortable. So we're going to actually start with Marmee. And Marmee's question that goes with her is a wise, nurturing book that you have read. And for that, I have picked Reviving Ophelia by Mary Pfeiffer, PhD. And this is Reviving Ophelia, Saving the Selves of Our Adolescent Girls. Alright, so I could give you a sob story and explain to you why this was never actually assigned to me, and I still completely highlighted and wrote in and treated it like a textbook of my own. Which is what I did. I treated this like a textbook, and I read it constantly. It gave me a feeling of less alienation and less sadness, and it saved me at a time when I really needed saving. It helped me through some really weird stuff, but in the end, it turned out not everything I was experiencing was as normal as I thought, but it saved me in the meantime. So this ended up having a very special place in my heart, and it nourished me and gave me hope in a place where I thought there was none. Next is Jo, a character you can't live with, can't live without, and that would be Mr. Loveheart in any of these books from this series. The first one being The Singular and Extraordinary Tale of Mira and Goliath. The sequel being this one, The Contrary Tale of the Butterfly Girl. Mr. Loveheart is a demon and king of the underworld, and he begins off in the book one as the son of the king of the underworld and then ends up becoming the king himself. The way that it happens, you need to read the book to understand, so I'm not giving any spoilers away there. If Bilby does a wonderful job building a character in a world where it just doesn't seem plausible. She does a great job giving this kind of fairy tale-esque fantasy world that I really ended up loving. This is the first fantasy series, aside from the Parasol Protectors, that I have picked up and really enjoyed. I feel like steampunk is my fantasy world that seems to fit me the best. But this Mr. Loveheart character is a murderer and a killer, but he's very dexter about it, and he seriously picks the people that really deserve to die, and you just love him for it, and you really want to kind of enjoy him because he's so eccentric and crazy that you can't help but enjoy watching and reading him be completely nuts and bonkers. He's fabulous. Alright, next is Meg, a book that you have damaged. And this is Sybil. And it's done. It's seen its day. The pages haven't begun to fall out yet, probably because, they're starting. The spine has begun to literally fall off. Like, you can actually see that now talks to you. Hi there, my name's Brooke. And the corners are disappearing, and the page is actually kind of fraying, and it's totally fine. This has been read 54 times. Now maybe more than that. It's been read quite a few. It has a very strong connection to me, as I do suffer from multiple personality disorder is what it was originally called, and that is what Sybil suffered from. And there's so many books that try and disprove this thing. But when I found this, I had just begun to become aware of my I want to say 6 personality. And I was about 12 or 13 at the time, and I found this, and I read it constantly because it was the only thing that felt familiar to me. And it just became a safety net and a security blanket to me. And it felt familiar and knowledging, and I felt less crazy. Multiple personality is now called dissociative identity disorder, which is what I have been diagnosed with, and as a result, I have 53 alters, and she had 16, so that is why this is so damaged and destroyed. But this was my security blanket for a long time, causing it to be dropped into tubs, spilled on by coffee, chewed on, sat on, run over with a car, dropped in the ocean, left in sand. Yeah, it's been through the ringer. And then our next question is going to be, Beth, what is a cozy book? And that makes me want to go get my blanket, but that's fine. This is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is my first Rainbow Rowell. I will be reading a buddy read with another booktuber at some point, I believe, Attachment. I need to pick that up. I had so many books that I'd already ordered. I'm trying not to buy too much more, but finding Attachment has proved very difficult for me. Anyway, this is really sweet and really lovely, and I am very much enjoying it, and I don't know who I'm supposed to ship, and I actually have not been ruined on the love interest and anything. I just know that I really don't like Abel. That's all I know. I don't like him. Find him a tool. Just total tool. But, you know, I'm probably overreacting because I'm on Kath's side in this situation. But anyway, very much love the characters, feel very strongly about Kath, feel very strongly about her roommate, very much, I mean, Levi, I have to admit, Levi, like, has stolen my heart. I kind of want to give Levi all my time and, like, energy because he is just completely sweet and wonderful, and Nick's kind of fun, too, because he writes really weird stuff, which I think is fantastic. So, this book is cozy and wonderful, and I am enjoying it immensely, and will continue reading it constantly. All right, Amy is next, and that is a pretty book. This is A Wild Swan by Michael Cunningham, and I wish you could see the detailing. Maybe if I... Ooh, yes, you can. So do you see the little creases right there? That is all a wing. And you can actually feel the texture of it if you touch the book. It's so beautiful. It's so wonderful. The end papers are gorgeous. And the inside drawings, they're very few and far between, but I do love them. Like, I absolutely love them. They're so pretty, and I wish I could actually find if I could find a whole graphic novel in this style, I would be a happy camper. Give me a graphic novel that looks like dark fairy tales, and I'm on board. So that's a short story collection, all fairy tale retellings. I'm in love with all of them. Totally fantastic. I enjoyed it very much. But I do believe I'm getting a new fairy tale book from Salt Publishing soon, and I ordered that around Christmas, so that should be arriving at some point. And I've heard that that's better than the one that I just showed you, so I'm excited about that. Mr. March, a book you were embarrassed you forgot. I just mentioned this in my last video, and I'm going to mention it again, because I'm totally horrified that I forgot this in my 2015 favorites. Whoopsie daisy! What's Left of Me, The Hybrid Chronicles by Kat Zhang. I read this in a day. I ate through it. I fell in love with it, and Eva and Addie were amazing, and I felt so strongly connected to these characters, and I'm sorry, Disturbia. No, not Disturbia. What is it called? Divergent. There we go. Divergent in the Hunger Games. Not my thing. Never gonna be my thing. I read Divergent. I gave it 4 stars, the first book. The rest of them fell short for me. And then Hunger Games, don't want it. Don't need it. I read The Lottery. I got it. My sister loves both those series, so I just let her have that. But this knocks them both to the ground. This is amazing. This is fantastic. The writing is phenomenal. The feeling is amazing. The human love and the decency and the goodness and the kindness of others and the insanity. I mean, it's crazy doctors and being in an institution and testing and weirdness, and it's all my favorite things mixed into one YA book, and I don't usually like YA. So I'm super stoked. Although I've shown you 3 YA books, which is very strange. Actually, 4. There's going to be 5. 5 YA books in this one. Weird. All right. What is a fun book? And that is Miss Pettigrews' Home for Peculiar Children. This is Kent's moving and wondrously strange first novel. Okay. This is a book that is totally based around the photography that is in it, which I found very fun. I very much enjoyed it. I love old creepy photographs. I don't know why, but I just think they're fabulous. So this actually was a lot of fun for me. I enjoyed the premise. I thought it was a great story. I found it very fun, very easy to read. Not a lot of like depth, but I'm sure I could probably break it down into some crazy literacy conversation if I really wanted to. But it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I have continued the series. I'm waiting for number 3 to come out in paperback so that I can pick that one up. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Should I give you a premise? I should probably give you a premise. A young boy, it starts off with him, Jacob, and his grandfather. He loves his grandfather very much. His grandfather always tells him these stories about this home and these children and all these different things that he went through in the war, and Jacob is beginning to think that he's lying. And then his grandfather passes away and blames a monster. And there's definitely high indication that the monster is actually a Nazi. But anyway, moving on. So Jacob decides that he's going to go on an adventure as he starts to mentally deteriorate. His family allows him to go on this adventure to go see the place where his grandfather grew up and claimed that all these stories came from. And he finds the house where his grandfather grew up and claimed all these stories came from. And he goes into a different time dimension, and that's where it starts to get good. Haha. All right, now Professor Bhaer. Oh, I loved Professor Bhaer. A classic you are proud you read. Jane Eyre. Very proud I read Jane Eyre. It was a 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved it. I really, really, really want the beautiful classic edition that was going around BookTube around Christmas time. That was in the 3 set of all the Bronte sisters trilogy. Oh, I just want it so bad. But I will eventually find it. But yeah, Jane Eyre was my favorite. I felt very connected to Bertha. It's fine. Oh dear. You guys must think I'm nuts at this point. But anyway, totally fine. I'm good with it. I did love Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre was one of my favorites. The gothic contemporary kind of world. Very fun, very easy. I loved it. I found it great. I found it fascinating. And the more Jen talks about it every once in a while and kind of breaks it down into this kind of feminist world text, the more I love it. All right. And last but not least, John. A sweet character or book. And this is both a sweet character and a book. And it's September from The Girl Who Circumvented Fairyland with a Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine M. Valente. She is the most darling girl I've ever met, and I love her to death. And the book is sweet, and the series is wonderful, and I need to get the other ones in paperback, because now I have it in paperback, so I have to stick with it. But very beautiful, very wonderful. She is the sweetest little girl. She's 12 years old. She reminds me very much of my cousin, which is why I plan to eventually pick up the entire series and send it to my cousin, because she needs to read it. She's 12 right now. I mean, how perfect is that for her to read this? But September is wonderful. I love September. I do. She is one of my favorite characters that I've read in a very long time, and I do love the little tiny illustrations that go with each beginning of the chapter. They make me smile so much. Like, look at that. Just so cute. So sweet. I just love it. And the green wind, just so much fun. And and there's so much honesty in this book. That's what I really love, is there's just pure honesty, and it's in a childish way. So it's not like honesty in an adult way where they're like trying to almost sugarcoat the honesty. It's just these children that are very blunt with each other and very honest, and characters that are very honest, and they all just tell you what it is. And it's beautiful, and it's wonderful. And Holly Black actually recommended it, and Neil Gaiman did as well. Neil Gaiman I've already read and love, but Holly Black I've been curious about, so I will definitely be picking her up as well. there you have it, folks. My Little Women tag, K-Cow, will be right down below. Please go subscribe to her, subscribe to me, and like this video. Thank you. I tried to wrap it up before I sneezed. Alright, guys. I will see you guys next time in the Chaotic Little Book Corner. Bye.